Hello, and welcome to Radio NIGP. I am Tara Acton, and I thank you so much for joining us today. This is our special forum broadcast. It is both timely and timeless, as the inspiration you will receive from this broadcast is always refreshing. As procurement professionals, we are often the unsung heroes of government. By design, we prefer to fly under the radar and keep our names out of the headlines. My colleagues and I here at Radio NIGP are putting the spotlight on the best of the best in our profession. Enjoy our interviews with this year's NIGP award recipients who received their much-deserved recognition at Forum and beyond. The NIGP award recipients are mindful of this insight. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This quote, one of my favorites, has been attributed to the American philosopher and historian Will Durant. It is based on philosophy from Aristotle, but I digress. My goal here is to say that the NIGP membership has excellent individuals, and during today's show, you will get a glimpse of their excellence. I'm willing to bet that you will see these individuals are not superhuman. They are just great people who have chosen to practice excellence. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope that you will make it a habit and tune in again real soon.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this broadcast of Radio NIGP. I'm excited to share with you today that we're going to have a quick interview with Michael Bevis, who has been selected to receive NIGP's highest award. It's named in honor of our founder, Albert H. Hall. And the professionals who received the Albert H. Hall Memorial Award also earned the designation of FNIGP, which stands for Fellow of NIGP. And Michael, congratulations again on being selected to receive the award. I'm very excited for you.
Thank you so much, Barb. I really appreciate that. And I'd tell you, the only disadvantage to getting this award, especially this year, is having to follow your speech and accepting it last year. But
you are so kind. I had a lot of fun. And, how did you find out that you were selected?
So, as you know, Rick, when he notifies winners, tries to trick them into thinking the call is about something else. So this year, the call to me was about baseball, because he knows I love baseball and all things baseball are important to me. And since we're in Boston, and since Fenway Park's in Boston, and since the staff of the Red Sox are not particularly cooperative with groups, he knew I knew that. He called on the pretext of me helping out with setting up a outing to see the Red Sox during Forum. And for those of you who don't know already, there is an outing on Tuesday night to see the Red Sox during Forum, just day after tomorrow. So if you haven't bought a ticket yet, get a ticket. And if you don't remember how, find me and I'll tell you how. And we're going to get there on our own, and we're going to go watch them play. And I can only hope both teams lose, because I'm a White Sox fan and I don't need either one of them to win. But anyway, I'll be there rooting for a loser, and hopefully you'll be there too.
That's great. That's great, Michael. So one of the things that comes with this award is being recognized as a fellow of the Institute. And I would love to hear your take on that designation.
So it's interesting. Being a fellow of the Institute is something that, of course, if you aspire to do things, you would aspire to do that in this profession. And as it gets closer or more possible, or as you start to think about it, you have to put it in context and decide what you're going to do. Rest on your laurels and just relax and go off into the sunset, become active and fight for more change, or do something in between. And I like to think of it like what happens after you have a 10th degree black belt in martial arts. I used to be very engaged in the martial arts, and a lot of people don't know what happens after you become a 10th degree black belt. But what happens is you become a white belt again, which means you find your beginner's mind and you start over with the perspective of a master, right? So that
Love
idea
that.
of starting over is where I am. And in fact, a couple of great opportunities are out there, and I'm lucky enough to be able to take advantage of them. One is I've been named as a reporter for local government for the ABA's revision of the Model Procurement Code. So another call to action for those of you listening: if you're interested in making the Model Procurement Code better, if you'd like to have influence, even though you're not a lawyer, contact me, because I'm setting up groups of practitioners to be focus groups in the rewrite. The other piece that I'm lucky enough to stay engaged with is the global standard, where we get to set standards across the world for both public and private sector procurement, and both graduate degrees and certifications around the world. So we set standards if you're in Germany to become a public procurement professional there, if you're in China, if you're in the US, right? So that's a wonderful opportunity to see what's going on around the world and bring it back. So my hope is to bring a beginner's mind to these major efforts and hopefully continue to have a positive impact on the profession.
I am so excited about both of those opportunities, and the fact that you uniquely are so qualified to carry those forward. I'm excited. The profession is in good hands, and I just wish you the best, and I appreciate our friendship over the years.
Well, thank you, Barb. And your friendship and the friendship of others in NIGP is what makes it all worthwhile. It's the reason why I'm here. Thank you so much.
Hello, this is Keith Glatz with Radio NIGP, and today is a very special day for me, as I'm delighted to welcome Joe Benjamin, who is the 2022 recipient of NIGP's Ann Dethridge Award for Meritorious Service. First of all, Joe, congratulations on your award, and welcome to Radio NIGP.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Keith. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Joe, you know, this is quite an honor to win the Dethridge Award, as it represents a recognition of your full body of work and contributions to NIGP and to the public profession as a whole. Joe, I know you've been involved with NIGP and its chapters, as well as the Florida Association of Public Procurement Officials, which we fondly know as FAPO, for many years now. So I think our audience would like to know a little bit about what you feel were your most important contributions to the public procurement profession, and perhaps what was the most fulfilling area of service that you've engaged in over these many years?
That's a great question. And I will say, being a part of co-authoring 2 of NIGP's global best practices, very rewarding. Learned a great deal from my co-authors on both of those papers. Serving as a chapter ambassador for the last 6 years, 5 years, 6 years, something like that. And on the content management committee, and I co-chair that. Amazing being a part of the pathways and NIGP CPP certification process, and building that is very rewarding. But I have to say, the greatest for me, most achievement for me, would be right here on the wall behind me. Serving as an officer for FAPO for 4 years, and as its president in 2015, and just receiving that W. Wolf award from FAPO, and now this award. When I look at those people on both of those lists, Dave Nash being my friend in Florida and fellow chapter ambassador back in the day, he had received that award 2 times. And now here you're interviewing me, and you as our recipient of the award we're speaking of today. So that just is a humbling thing to see that list of who I consider to be mentors and giants of the industry. So it's an honor to be on that list too. So very humbling.
Wow. Well, now that we talked about that, I want to ask you another question about, as an Ann Dethridge Award winner, what advice would you give to others who are just starting out in public procurement and might be interested in serving the profession themselves?
I would say, Keith, you would probably agree that don't hesitate or think that you don't have anything to offer. That we have such a generational divide now that are involved in different eyes and ideas and ways and diverse groups looking at our profession. And those contributions are invaluable. So don't hesitate. Dip your toe in the water. Get involved. Find out which one just brings your passion to the table, and get involved. Don't wait. Just go ahead and do that now, and you will see how rewarding it is, how much you learn, and how much it will grow your career. So I would say don't hesitate. Start looking at that now, whether it's at the chapter level or a place like FAPO or NIGP National. I would say don't hesitate.
That's a great answer. And I 100% agree with you. So, Joe, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today. And once again, congratulations on winning the Ann Dethridge Meritorious Service Award.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure, Keith. I appreciate you taking the time to interview me about this great honor. I'm humbled and honored.
Well, that's great. So now this is Keith Glatz speaking, and hoping that you'll join me right here on Radio NIGP in the future, and reminding you that this is Radio NIGP.
Good afternoon, Radio NIGP. Kirk Buffington here, and today I am honored to be interviewing and talking with Terry McKee, a new 2022 DSA Distinguished Service Award awardee. Terry, how are you?
I'm doing well this afternoon, Kirk.
So tell us, Terry, when did you find out you had been given this award?
Early July, Rick emailed me with some subterfuge, said that he knew I was active in the Insight community and that NIGP was looking to make some changes, and he wanted my thoughts. So we set up a Zoom, and several weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, we had the Zoom, and Rick surprised me by saying, "This is not what I set up the Zoom to talk to you about." And he told me I had won the DSA. Much to my surprise and honor, and I was very shocked.
That's a great story. I mean, having Rick call you personally, you deserve it. I mean, you've done a tremendous amount of work for NIGP and for the profession. So I am just so excited that you've been recognized for that work. It's interesting. When I was given the DSA back in 2013, NIGP did not tell folks ahead of time. So I found myself at the awards dinner, sitting there listening to the introduction and thinking to myself, well, that kind of sounds like me, but could I be getting this? And I did. And it was like that moment of holy crap kind of thing. So how do you feel? Do you feel it's better for you personally to maybe have this notice so that you can be better prepared come the awards dinner?
Definitely. I would have come up with something like you just said, holy crap, would have been my response. And I would have had no idea what to have said or done on stage. So I do appreciate this. Plus, I am able to take my wife with me now. She would not have normally gone with me to Boston. So that will make it extra nice that my wife will be there with me. And being the person I am, advance notice is very helpful for me.
I think I would have appreciated that too. So I think the way they're doing it now is really a much better way for the awardees and for the audience. Now that you've received it, do you see yourself, doing anything a little differently as you move forward in your volunteer efforts with NIGP?
It just reinforces the value of adding back to the profession through whatever volunteering one wants to do. As you noted, I've done a lot in the last 34 years, and I intend to continue that, hopefully, probably even more now. It really sort of rewards all those efforts and affirms all those efforts for the last 34 years.
That's great. We are so excited for you, and I'm honored to have been able to spend this brief time with you, and just really excited to see you get the award. Thanks so much for taking the time, Terry.
Thank you.
Welcome to Radio NIGP. This is Kevin Yin.
And I'm Stacy Gregg.
And we're here with our Distinguished Service Award recipient, Brian Smith from Multnomah County, Oregon. So Brian, how does it make you feel, or when you first heard about this, what went through your mind?
Well, it was kind of odd. The Rick Grimm had set up a meeting with me to talk about chapter ambassador stuff, and I figured as I was coming off of 7 years of service of chapter ambassador stuff that he was wanting to pick my brain, and so we talked about chapter ambassador stuff for about 45 minutes, and at that point he said something aside, and he's about what's coming up, and what other kinds of things that I would be doing with the institute, and the way he said, I can't remember the way he said it, but the way he said it was just one of those, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, you got the Distinguished Service Award. And I'm like, oh, wow, it was crazy. So it came out of left field. I was in a different headspace. And honestly, it after it just kind of sunk in a little bit, I genuinely felt both humbled and honored, just simply because there are so many amazing professional practitioners that I've met and worked with through the Institute, and I guess just to be recognized with the Distinguished Service Award was just like, wow, really? I gone through phases of imposter syndrome and just it's certainly humbling, and it's one of those things. It's lovely to be recognized for service, but ultimately when it gets down to it, it's kind of this is the career I've dedicated my life to, and I've really appreciated so deeply the mentorship and the colleagues I've gotten to work with, and the examples that other people have shown me about what it looks like to be a really good active procurement professional, and somebody who supports the profession, who supports the agency I work for, and who supports all of the people who are doing public procurement day in and day out, because there's so many excellent people doing this work. And so I was really just, I was humbled, because I feel like that's what I'm just had my head down and focused on. So.
Yeah, and Rick really does a good job of hiding it, doesn't he?
Yes.
Bringing it up on you.
He was very sneaky, very sneaky.
So, Brian, you just mentioned it. You and I have been family for a while, right? Since the very first year of Chapter Ambassadors. We started together with the initial group, right?
We did start with the initial group, and I had signed up for they created the ambassador program when they did the NIGP 2.0, and it was super appealing to me because I was really interested in helping to build new processes and new institutions, and it was a great opportunity. And it was one of those things where I signed up for a 3-year non-renewable term, and things change, programs develop and all that, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, it's been 7 years. Okay, well, but
they kicked me off, Kevin, but they let Brian stay on.
Yeah, so and I think it's been a great opportunity to see that program. It has come so far. And I think in particularly the last couple of years, I've been super active on the Chapter Awards program, and trying to really get that to be something that is not such a drain on the volunteer resources for chapters. And so we were able to, kind of make sure that we were we made it so much easier to get recognition for your chapters, and we saw participation increase significantly on that. And I think it also increased in transparency all of the fabulous practices that are going on across chapters, because that's been a really hard thing to, as chapters struggle with a particular thing, whether it's membership recruitment or board member development. The fact that there's probably a chapter out there who's doing a really good job of it, but being able to make those connections and finding out how to, what those best practices are, that's been a huge focus of that program. And that's the kind of thing that really just I get enthusiastic about, is who's doing it better than I am, and how can we, learn from that. So.
Yeah, and one of the best way to do it is stay active in this profession. And it's amazing. I mean, just thinking about what Stacy said earlier, that the three of us, I mean, we've known each other for quite a while.
Yeah.
Gosh, I've known Stacy for probably the last, 12 years? And I think with you, probably 15 or so years.
Yeah. Yeah, you were at the city of Portland when we first started working together. That was a lot of jobs ago.
And we taught a class together that just kind of got us.
That's right. That's right. We've taught. Yeah.
It was wild. So anyway.
Right. And you know what? I just mentioned that we were in the family. Now you're in the club of DSA winners that Kevin and I get to invite you in, right? And welcome you in. We have some initiation rights that, we'll settle up after all of this
okay.
is over.
All right.
We'll see you in Boston for that.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you, I guess between the three of us, we all have a great understanding of how important it is to give back, not only to the Institute, but to the profession. And I think the three of us are, really hard working and go hard for doing that. What do you see now? I know when I left the ambassador program, it was a year of what I felt like was stagnancy, but you can't sit on the this service award. This is my charge to you. What do you see Brian is doing moving forward?
Just personally, professionally, I've been the purchasing manager at Multnomah County for 15 years, and I've been at the county almost 30. And I recently started doing consulting with NIGP Consulting, and so as a personal professional challenge, getting out to actually work with clients through the NIGP consulting program is an amazing challenge. So it's the kind of challenge I haven't had in a long time, and I'm really enjoying that. And as that program is building and expanding, there's amazing things going on there, and I'm really excited to be part of that. But I'm not leaving Multnomah County anytime soon either. So there are still lots of super challenging projects, and as I work both within my own agency and through the two chapters that I'm member of, Oregon Public Purchasing Association and Columbia chapter, the opportunities to do mentorship and development of kind of the next generation coming up. Those are the things that are very energizing to me. And I think that it's, as I've been part of NIGP's mentorship program and had been both a mentor and a mentee, which has been a great perspective. I think moving forward, paying attention to what's going on with the next generation that's up and coming, and helping those folks, giving some perspective. So often folks who work in local public procurement don't necessarily have a perspective particularly when they're first starting, of kind of beyond either their desk job or their agency. But when you start to expand your horizon and look like what's going on in our state and what's going on nationally and internationally in the US and Canada. And I think the Institute has a lot of opportunities for that, and getting people involved. I think I really appreciate the variety of volunteer opportunities, whether it's project-based or serving on a council, or that are provided through the Institute. And I'm certainly going to be encouraging my staff and folks that I come in contact with to be involved professionally, because it's getting to meet folks from across the country who do this profession and seeing how it's done differently. That was one of the things I appreciated most about getting to know a lot of our Canadian colleagues is public purchasing in Canada looks very similar. It's very recognizable to those of us who practice in the States, but it's very different. And it's in that difference and that compare and contrast that I find a lot of that's the stuff that makes my wheels start to turn, and I start to think about how could I do things better where I'm working and in my practice by seeing it done differently in different places. So moving forward, I'm going to be I think just looking for great opportunities to leverage the mentorship and the aspects of bringing up the next generation.
Well, thank you, Brian. I think you brought up a great challenge to everybody, and which is get involved, get active in the profession, in the organization, and also with each other. And that's it's a great way to give back for what this profession has done for us. And amazing. I mean, just again thinking about the three of us and how we came to know each other. And had we not gotten involved, I mean, we would still be strangers, right?
We would be.
We would be.
That's the value of volunteering. All of these great people that you get to have connections with.
That's right. And doing so, it pays dividends. Just when you're giving, it feels, the intent is to pay it forward, but what you get out of it is so much more. And and that's the amazing feeling. And congratulations, Brian. Holy smoke. This is awesome. I'm just so glad to see your name as being the recipient of the 2022 Distinguished Service Award. Congratulations.
Thank you both.
Absolutely. Congratulations and welcome to the club to both you and Terry.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, Radio NIGP loyal listeners. Thank you for joining us once again today. My name is Bobby Tolston, and I have here as my guest today, Denise Snyder. Denise has been awarded the Leadership Award by the NIGP Governing Board Chair. Denise was selected for her many volunteer leadership positions for the Institute and others, including the president of the Airport Purchasing Group. To help folks understand the merits of your recognition, could you tell our listening audience more about some of those leadership positions that you've held?
Sure. Good afternoon, Bobby. I was the past president of the Central Florida chapter of NIGP for 2 terms. I also served as the FAPO president in 2008, 2009. And I also served for 2 terms as the Airport Purchasing Group president and currently serve on their board of directors.
Oh, wow. I can see now why you've achieved such a prestigious award. How did you learn about being selected to receive this honor?
I was at the FAPO conference luncheon back in May, and Carrie Mathis, who's the current NIGP chair, approached me and told me she was giving me this award, which was quite a shock.
That's the best way to receive it, right? When you're not expecting it.
Exactly.
So having received this honor, what are your plans for moving forward in our profession?
Well, I still serve on the APG board and will continue to do so as long as they'll have me. And I am a retired member of both FAPO and of the Central Florida chapter of NIGP, and they know I'm always willing to assist with anything that they need me to do.
Awesome. I'll keep that in mind as well, because we're always looking for volunteers. So Denise, before I let you go, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'd like to share something with all your viewers and listeners, and that's to pursue your profession with passion, help and support each other, and remember that you have a great NIGP family behind you.
I concur wholeheartedly. And I'd like to thank you again and congratulate you on this prestigious honor. And thank you for your service and contributions to our profession. To our loyal NIGP listeners, we look forward to hearing you back and seeing you back here again real soon. Thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Valerie Scott reporting for Radio NIGP. Today, I have the honor of interviewing Kara Daniel, Purchasing Manager 1 with Springfield R12 School District in Missouri. Kara is the 2022 recipient of the NIGP Young Professional Award. The recipient of this award is selected by the Member Council Chair for the purpose of recognizing a young professional who is elevating the public procurement profession. Kara is described as always eager to learn, eager to listen, eager to lead, and eager to make a positive difference in the field of procurement and in our lives. She is a leader who inspires, motivates, and challenges others. She is future-focused and continually looking for ways to make procurement work better. Forget status quo. She's elevating the profession every day and in every way. Kara, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. We were in the same Leaders Edge cohort, and I know firsthand that you're someone who embodies the spirit of this award. So tell me, how did you learn about being selected to receive this honor?
Yes, it is quite an honor. So on Friday, July 1st, I received a lovely email from NIGP's Chief Executive, Rick Grimm, letting me know that I was selected to receive this award. He congratulated me on building a successful career in public procurement. And Rick always has such a good a way with his words and is so well spoken. So it was really nice to receive that and such an honor to be nominated for this by Jody Jacoby.
That's so exciting and awesome to receive that kind of recognition, I'm sure, from Rick, and the personalized note as well. Having received this honor, what are your plans moving forward in the profession?
Yeah, so I really feel like I would not be where I am today without the mentors that I've had in my career building me up to this point. So I'm really thankful for that. And I feel like I need to pay it forward. So I'm hoping that I can be there to encourage and support others on their growth path. And I'm committed to being a lifelong learner. So I'm just going to keep pushing forward and keep growing.
Excellent. I think that's great advice for all of us in the profession and great to hear. And congratulations again. It's wonderful. You're an inspiration to all of us. And for our Radio NIGP listeners, Kara is definitely one to watch. Thank you for tuning in.
Hi, friends. My name is Stacey Adams. I am the chair of the Talent Council, and I have the pleasure of introducing you to the 2022 Volunteer Award recipient, Mr. Russ Pinky. Hi, Russ. How are you doing?
I am great. Thank you, Stacey. I am honored to have been selected for this and was totally surprised when I learned about it. And have a lot of history in public procurement. I have, history in the private sector before that. So if I give you too much information, you'll know how old I am, but I've been in purchasing for probably 40 years total and have not regretted a bit of it.
Yes, once you have that procurement bug, once it bites you, you just kind of stay in it, right? So yes. You've actually retired, right? And went back into it somewhere else, right?
That's right. I retired in 2019 from the city of Independence, Missouri. And that was the third city I had worked in. in the Kansas City area. When I left Independence, then I came to Virginia Beach, Virginia, and learned about an opportunity to do the same thing here, minus the management side of things, because I've already done that and I didn't want to do it again. I just want to buy stuff, you know.
Yeah,
So,
I hear you.
I'm here until I retire, so we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Awesome. Well, how did you learn about being selected to receive this honor?
I received an email from Rick Grimm, who's the CEO of NIGP, and totally surprised, as I said, and honored. And it was just, it caught me by surprise for sure.
Well, as I have mentioned to you, you know, when selecting this honor, I had a lot of conversations with a lot of people in volunteer roles that have either been in volunteer roles previously or were currently. And your name came up so many times as being the reason that they were volunteering at the Institute, was because you talked to them or you encouraged them to volunteer and get involved. And as that, a lot of that came from the roles that you held with the Talent Council and otherwise. So as a recipient of the Volunteer Award, do you mind sharing some of the volunteer roles that you've held, either both personally or professionally?
Well, sure. On a professional note, when I got into public procurement in the 90s, my first week on the job at that city, everybody in the office said, well, let's get together and go. It was close to noon. And I said, where are we going? And they said, we're going to go to a chapter meeting, which was all new stuff to me. And I had seen all these name signs on folks on their desks, and it said CPPB or CPPO. So I was full of questions. I wanted to know all about that. But I already knew at that point, just in a couple of days, that I had found my niche. So it went from there. I became very active in the local chapter in the Kansas City area, and also in the state chapter of Missouri. I did leave that city and went to Kansas and worked in Olathe, Kansas for 8 years. But I did not leave the Kansas City chapter. I kept working there, worked my way through. I was president twice and went through all the different offices, and I constantly trying to bring people in and volunteer and give back, because that's what it's all about. And then I got involved with NIGP first, back when we used to have a committee that it escaped my memory right now, but we worked on the bylaws and all that kind of thing to make sure that's all together. That's kind of ancient history now, but that's how I got started. And then put in for the Talent Council, and first year didn't make it. Second year I was accepted, and I spent 6 years on the Talent Council. That's where I really found what my passion for talking to people and reaching out to them, and because you only get two answers, yes or no. Right. So you might as well ask. The ask is the key. And so with that, I went and talked to everybody I ever met at an NIGP forum or anything else I went to. On the private side, I've been very involved with my churches that I've been at for the last, since 2010. I was involved in church until we left Missouri as I'm an ordained minister, but I also served as a deacon there, and pulling people in to volunteer for choir, because I'm a musician. So choir music is a passion of mine. And so getting anything that you do in a church, you're asking people to volunteer. Right. And so that was what was very important to me, was to find out how to get them in, find out what their passion is. So ask a few quick key questions and get folks involved. But I loved it. And I couldn't go and say all of those things without saying the person that really recognized all of that in me was my late wife. Back when we first met, and we were married 45 years, she's the person that saw a quiet person that had passion down deep inside. And she pulled that out of me and said, this is not you. You need to be the open person that talks to people and that does what you do. And so I have to give her the credit for making me who I am.
Well, we're certainly thankful that she did pull that out, because you have been such an instrumental person in the Institute for many, many years. And I know in your local communities as well. And so it's just a pleasure to have gotten to know you over the years. And as you've received this honor, what are your plans moving forward in our profession or as a volunteer? Where do you see yourself going next? What's your next step?
Well, when I came to Virginia Beach, I backed off of chapter work because my wife was beginning to be ill and I needed to focus more on her. My time on the Talent Council came to an end shortly after my move. So I was still on one committee, and eventually I had to resign off that committee because I needed to focus where I was meant to be, and that was by her side all of that time. So when she left me, and she moved on to heaven a couple months ago, and then I began to think, now what do I do? Well, I met Stacy and so many other good folks when we went to the trainer sessions in 2018, and became a kind of a family right there to learn how to teach folks how to become procurement people. So I'm planning to go back and do that. Probably when I retire will probably be October 24, something like that. And I will finish a term here at Virginia Beach long enough to, of course, gain the retirement from the state. And then also I've been having discussions with NIGP Consulting about doing some of that work. So I have some plans to move forward. Whether I work in the office or not, I'll stay busy.
Oh, I have no doubt you'll be busy and you'll be giving back to the profession as you always have in one way or the other. So awesome. Thank you so much, Russ, for taking the time to just talk with us today. And really thank you from the bottom of my heart for being who you are and for being a friend. So congratulations on this award. Couldn't have been more deserving.
Thank you so much. It's good to have the NIGP family and friends.
Yes.
Anybody that's new in NIGP, you'll find out if you just stick around how close we all are.
That's the truth. That is the truth. It becomes our own family.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, Russ.
Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Radio NIGP. I'm Linda Allaire, a member of the Radio NIGP staff, and I'm very fortunate today to have a longtime friend join me so that I can interview him. Welcome, and it's good to see you again.
Thanks, Linda. It's
My
good to be here.
guest is Keith Glatz, and Keith is the Purchasing and Contracts Manager for the city of Tamarack, Florida. And we're very fortunate to be able to interview Keith because he and his organization are the awardees of the Integrity Award for 2022. Hello, Keith.
Hi, Linda. How are you doing this morning?
Very well. Can you tell everyone a little bit about this award? Because I think it's quite unique.
It certainly is this year. These were awards that were created several years ago. At one time, they were all three given out by the president or chair of NIGP, and then made the determination that it would be much more fair if the individual councils gave out one award each. So the president gives out the leadership award, the member council's volunteer of the year, and so forth and so on. And the finance council is the entity that provides a decision on who gets the award called the Integrity Award. The Integrity Award was designed to recognize individuals, or in this case, groups for the first time, that have done something that reflects a high level of integrity, which is one of the NIGP guiding principles, as you well know. And individuals who have achieved some sort of best practice or have just generally demonstrated that everything that they do has a line of integrity running behind it.
Wonderful. Now, Keith, I've known you for years, and I know that your integrity is a mainstay of everything you do, and it's obviously a mainstay of everything that we do in procurement. But there must have been something special to garner this award for your organization. Can you tell me what it hinged on?
Well, I'll be honest. When they told me, I was so I received an email and with the notification, and I was actually kind of concerned myself. I said, what am I getting this for? And then I had to actually do a little bit of research and emailed a good friend who was in the know on this. And they told me it was actually because of a practice that we started in Tamarack during the pandemic at the beginning. We started a match of vendors we didn't know. We were getting inundated with firms that we didn't know, trying to sell us this and that, especially in the area of PPE. And so we figured we needed to find some way to validate and verify who these firms that were coming at us actually were. And so we started with the cooperation of our accounting division, who had the actual IDs for the IRS, to check against the IRS tax number, tax identification number.
Well, and who knew that we could actually use the IRS to be helpful, right? That's great. Wonderful. Wonderful to hear that. Who would have thought of it? Now, you mentioned that you just got an email notice out of the blue, right?
Yeah.
So once you received that email notice and the shock wore off, did you start to wonder, how this could impact you or your purchasing group or your entity at large?
Well, the first thing I thought of was, it's been a rough couple of years, and this is just what our organization needed to garner some praise or improve the level of respect that we had with our elected officials and upper management, as
Wonderful.
well as with our local community.
Yeah, and it's a great morale booster for the staff, right?
It certainly was, yes.
Wonderful. So now that you've got this award in hand, what are you going to do moving forward in your profession, and perhaps on a personal level, but also on an organizational level?
Well, we're looking at doing some, basically implementing some new best practices. We have an online procurement platform, which we've utilized to improve already this year some of our abilities to evaluate RFP responders. We're looking next year to perhaps go more towards some of the electronic signature capabilities that some organizations have that we don't have but need. And just in general, looking at improved best practices.
That's wonderful, Keith. Congratulations very much from me personally, from your colleagues at NIGP and anyone else who's listening. Winning this kind of an award, whether it's on a personal level or for your entity, good on you. Congratulations, and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And I'm glad to see before I go that this was, for the first time, awarded to the organization and not to an individual, because it's the team that makes it work.
Absolutely. And there's no I in team, and we all need to be able to work with our colleagues and work with our networks. We can't do it on our own, right?
That's right.
Thank you so much for joining me. Good luck in the future, and I'll see you at Forum.
All right.
Bye, Keith.
Bye, Linda.
Hi, my name is Don Buffum, and thank you for watching this episode of Radio NIGP. I'm a staff member for the Radio NIGP, as well as a fellow of NIGP, having won the Albert Hall Award in 2018. As I watch this video, all I can think of is, wow, this is really impressive. Maybe it's awesome. It's probably just appreciation for all the work that these people have done for NIGP and for the procurement profession. Mostly, it's just amazed. I'm amazed at what they've done. As I watched the interviews, I thought about these individuals. I've been lucky enough to work with several of them, either on boards or on consulting projects. So I know how hard they work. I know them fairly well. I've intrigued to look at these legends. And I call them legends because of all they've done for the profession and for NIGP. In fact, all past award winners I consider to be legends, and I'm proud to know many of them. The interesting thing as I watched this video is the differences and the similarities between these individuals. They have very different personalities. They have different ways of getting things done. They have different areas where they participate. They have different areas of expertise and knowledge. In some ways, their passions are different. But as different as they are, I find it incredible to look at them as well as past legends to see some notable similarities. One of the things each of them seem to have is an attitude of servant leadership, focusing on the growth and well-being of others, helping others to grow, being a servant first. They have a passion for NIGP and the people that make up an organization, providing great resources for others. Finally, they all have a passion for our profession, as they see potential for public procurement to make the world a truly better place. These are all truly great leaders, and I feel so honored to be able to watch as they continue to do great things for our organization. I'm also honored and excited as I look at our chapters, committees, and boards, as I see so many other exhibiting these same qualities. There are individuals participating at all levels, a person doing registration at a local chapter meeting, the people planning events or educational events for our chapters, the people on the quality control team at Forum, the chapter officers, boards, committees, both at the chapter level and at NIGP. Everyone is contributing using their own knowledge, skills, and mostly their passions. Yes, we're living in a world that is a bit concerning at times, but I'm convinced that with all of these great individuals working together, the future is bright for NIGP and the public procurement profession. Thank you and have a great day.